Here we have 1/3, and over here we have 2/3. Okay, and what we're gonna find is the 1/3. What's equivalent to 1/3. So going below the box right here, we're gonna write 1/3 times, remember the first number they started with up here is 2, so we're gonna do the same pattern. So our formula, oops, not times, our formula is gonna be 1 times the numerator times, sorry guys, the numerator times the half, 2, and the denominator times 2. But first we need to break all these boxes up into thirds. Up top we just did them in half because we were working with half. So first of all, let's break these up into thirds. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay? Then we're going to shade them in 1 because the numerator is 1. So we're going to shade each one to reflect that it's 1/3 until we find our equivalent fractions. Then we're going to be making more cuts, more parts. Okay, now back down here. Since we are using the 2, we're going to cut this box in half. Now we're going to solve. 1 times 2 is 2. 3 times, oops, sorry. Not 0. 1 times 2 is 2, and 3 times 2 is 6. So 1/3 is equivalent to 2/6. All right, next box. Our pattern is thirds. So, I'm sorry, our pattern is the same as up here. So we worked with a 2 there, so our next number is what? 3. So we're going to take 1/3 because we're still trying to find what's equivalent to 1/3. And we're going to use our formula and we're going to plug in the 3. So numerator times the 3. Denominator times the 3. And we're going to have to cut this box into 3. Okay, now we can solve. Or can't we count? Look at the shaded number, or what's shaded in? 1, 2, 3. So that's our numerator. And all of the parts are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. And then we did 3 there, so you know we're going to work with 4 here. So 1/3 in our formula, numerator times 4, denominator times the 4. We're going to have to cut the piece into 4 pieces across. And again, it's shaded to represent 1 times 4 is 4, and 3 times 4 is 12. If you count all these, should reflect our answer, right? And the next is 5. So 1/3 equals 1 times 5, and our denominator, 3 times 5, we have to cut it into 5 pieces, and then we solve. 1 times 5 is 5, 3 times 5 is 15. So 1/3 is equal to 2/6. 1/3 is also equal to 3/9. 1/3 is equal to 4/12, and 1/3 is equal to 5/15. So if you were to simplify, which we'll do later, when you simplify 5/15, you'll simplify it into 1/3. When you simplify 4/12, it will go as low as 1/3. Simplify 3/9, it will go to 1/3. Okay, next page is the second. So kind of reflects the homework. There's 2 pages for homework, and there's usually 2 pages for problem set. So remember, we would always do the problem set so that when you got home, you knew what to do and you could use your problem set to work on your homework at home. So same thing here, but you have this video that you can like rewatch and do with your homework. Okay, so on our number line, excuse me, same thing. We're going to break it up into, what does it look like right now? Halves again. Hold on, I need a drink of water, guys. My allergies are killing me today. Okay, so we have, is this the same one? Oh no, it is. For some reason, guys, I accidentally uploaded 2 of the same problem. So let me see. problem set. Mayday, mayday. Oh my gosh, how many problem sets do I have? Okay, so I don't know why, but I uploaded the same page over and over. So see, I'm going fast, but so here's the second problem set for real. Okay, so we're gonna make our number strip like this. End, our number line, I'm sorry. End to end, and it wants us to start with 0, 2, and end with 2, 2, which equals 1 whole. And then what's smack dab in the middle? Wait, I'm sorry, guys. Okay, back on track. We have 3/4. So that means we're gonna break this number line up into fourths. So 4/4 is 1 whole, and then 0/4. Okay, so then in half of that is gonna be 2/4. And then of course you have 1/4, and then you have 3/4. So we're gonna, now we're trying to find equivalent fractions with our pattern of 3/4. So we're gonna do 3/4. And remember, same thing with these boxes. We're gonna break them all up into fourths because the denominator is 4, and that tells us how many parts there are. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're gonna shade, because the numerator is 3 of those parts on all of them. Okay, so now we're going to use our formula, and we're going to start with the number 2. So we're going to have, this time the numerator is 3. So we're going to have 3 times 2 and 4 times 2. And now, since we're going to use the 2, we have to cut that box in half. And then solve 3 times 2 and 4 times 2. Okay, so our box reflects, our numerator is 6 shaded in, and all of the parts are 8. So 3/4 is equal to 6/8. Okay, moving on with our pattern, since we used 2 there, now we're gonna go 3/4, and this time we're gonna use the number 3. So we're going to use the numerator, which is 3 this time, and then the number we're using to break it up into those parts is 3, and the denominator is 4 times 3. So we've got to break this box across in 3s, 3 parts. Okay, and then we solve. 3 times 3 equals 9, and 4 times 3 equals 12. And then if you count our box, it should reflect our equivalent fraction that we got for 3/4. Okay, now we're going to do the number 4, 3/4. So we use our numerator 3 times 4, denominator 4 times 4, and we're going to have to break the box across in 4s. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 3 times 4 is 12, and 4 times 4 is 16. So 12/6 is equivalent to 3/4. And then keep going. 3/4. And the numerator 3 in our we're going to 5 now. And then our denominator of 4 times 5, and we have to break that box into 5 parts, or 5 this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'll squeeze that one in. And then we solve 15 and then 20. So 3/4 is equivalent to 15/20. Okay, almost done, guys. Then we're going to use 6/5. Now this is an irregular fraction. It is not, so 5/5 equals 1 whole. And then you would have 1 left over because of the 6. So I'm going to show you how we do this. We're going to have 6/5. Okay, so we got to break this up into 5s, all of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me count 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so this right here is an improper fraction. But we're going to find what's equivalent to 6/5. So we're going to use our formula of 6, numerator 6, starting with the 2, denominator of 5 with the 2, and we're going to break it up in half, right? Because the 2 is telling us to break it in half. Now, here's what it is. Okay, so this whole thing right here needs to be shaded in, because before we broke it up in half, 5/5 equals 1 right here. Okay, so now I'm gonna backtrack, guys. Sorry, it's not like being with you guys in the classroom, so it's a lot to get used to. So I'm sorry, bear with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nope. Sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Okay. So let's look at these boxes again. Now let's shade. If 5/5 equals 1 whole, this right here, how many is there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you shade it all in, because that equals 1 whole. And then since you have what we're working with here, 6/5, you shade it in 1 line, 2 line, 3 line, 4 line, 5 line. Now let's shade in the 6th. There we go. Okay, now we're going back to right here, and we're going to cut them in half. All right. 6 times 2 equals 12. Sorry, guys, my pen's not working. No. And 5 times 2 is 10. So 6/5 is equal to 12/10. Okay, so now over here on the next boxes, we're going to move on. And since we used a 2 here, we're going to go over here and we're going to use 6/5, and we're going to see what's equivalent to it. And we're going to take the numerator of 6 times 3 and the denominator of 5 times 3. Again, we're going to shade in 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the 6th. And then to our boxes, we're going to cut them into 3s. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, now we're going to solve. And 6 times 3 is 18. And 5 times 3 is 15. So 6/5 is equivalent to 18/15. Okay, so we would not leave an improper fraction like that, but that's another lesson we'll get to. And I've kind of showed you guys already what we do with it, but we'll go, that's a whole nother day. Okay, so let's see what we have. This is your exit ticket. This is something that I would give you before recess or at the end of the lesson, and usually you guys, if you don't, until you understand this, you don't get your homework. And that's kind of like when you guys come up to my desk and we go over it, and then you're like, oh, okay, and then, or you get it right, and then you get your homework. So let's go ahead and do our number line. We're almost done, guys. This is the last one. Okay, so our number line here is, start with a circle at the end and a circle up here. And since it's 6, 6 at the end and 0, 6 here, and then we just fill it in. So we're going to have 6 parts. And right smack dab in the middle is going to be 3, 6, 4, 6, 5, 6, and then 2, 6, and then 1, 6. All right. Now, again, they did it for us right here, but I would like to shade in the box. So since the denominator is 6, that means that we're going to make 6 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and then since they're using the number 2 right here, we are going to, well, first of all, sorry, I'm ahead of myself. First of all, we have to shade in to represent 1, the numerator, 1 right here. out of 6 whole pieces. So, or not whole pieces, 6 pieces, so 1/6. Now we're going to cut the box in half because we use the 2. And then when they solve and 1 times 2 is 2 and 6 times 2 is 12, 2/12, then your box reflects that. And then 1/6 is equivalent to 2/12. Okay, so now this next box. First of all, let's cut all the boxes into 6 because we know that's what we're working with, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then let's color in the 1/6 of all of them, the numerator. Okay. Now we're going on with our pattern, and since we used 1 there, we're going to be using 3. So 1/6, 1 times 3, and denominator 6 times 3. And since we use the 3, we're going to cut this box into thirds. Whoa. And 1 times 3 is 3, 6 times 3 is 18. And our box should reflect that. Okay, moving on, 1/6, and now we're going to use the denominator of 1, and we're using 4 this time. Numerator, or denominator, I'm so messing up, guys. This is the numerator times 4, sorry, and then the denominator 6 times 4. And we have to cut the box into 4 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 1 times 4 is 4, and 6 times 4 is 24. And there you have it. So 1/6 is also equal to 3/18, and 1/6 is also equal to 4/24. And we're done. So here's what I'm going to say. You guys can watch this with me. If you can't print it, that's no big deal. You still got your lesson for the day. Moving on, if you do have the homework, it'd be so fun to see if you guys could try it. There's 2 pages, so page 24 and 25. Okay? And if you need me to email it, I can. And that's it. That is part 2. I hope you enjoyed it. Sorry it was kind of janky today because I had to sneeze and blow my nose, and then my dog came in and opened the door, and then a crop duster cropped by. So, or flew by. So anyway, guys, I hope you're hanging in there, not too bored, and hope to see you soon, and have a great weekend. All right, bye.